Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joe Griffin. I'm the city manager for the city of Sebastian. It is 3:46 in the afternoon on Wednesday, October 5th. This is the first of many updates that the city is going to supply you as Channel 25 Comcast viewers and also as UVerse viewers on Channel 99. We want to give you updates for the upcoming hurricane event that we are going to experience in the next day or so. I'd like to start off by, first of all, reading some things that I've obtained from Comcast. We've had some questions about when they're going to make their pickups and when they're not, talking about disruption of service. But generally speaking, today, Wednesday, they should be making those pickups, and that is a yard waste day, so those issues should be accomplished today. Thursday and Friday, however, which are recycle days, and Thursday being a recycle day, and Friday a trash day, normal trash pickup also for some parts of the city, those are going to be discontinued. So no service on Thursday and Friday. That's the 6th and 7th of October, service will be discontinued. Service will be reinstituted on Monday on a normal schedule. Now, what about recycling? We don't know about that because the county has shut down the recycling service there. So we're going to have to see what the recycling schedule would be on the normal pickup on Thursday for Sebastian customers. Let's talk about Comcast for a second. Remember, and I'm going to read part of this, please. Remember that emergency management procedures in Florida dictate that power must be restored first, and then Comcast must receive clearance that is safe for our crews to begin any restoration work. So what that tells me is if you have a Comcast disruption, first of all, the power has to be turned back on, obviously, and then a request made to Comcast that it's safe to move about your neighborhood to restore service with Comcast. So normal contact with Comcast, 1-800-COMCAST. So any problems with that, you can always call us or Comcast Direct. One other thing that I'd like to mention is that we have an emergency operations center here at the City Hall campus. It's in the police department, and we have that manned now 24/7. And that is handling, aside from a number of duties, that is handling phone calls that we would normally have come into City Hall and also our citizen request line. So the 581-0111 citizen request line and the 589-5330 City Hall line are going to be directed over to the emergency operations center at the police department. Someone will be there to take your call. And that is a direct line, should be unless they're busy with someone else, you should be able to get through to a real person. Let's talk about the 11 a.m. update. And I know this is a little bit off because I've seen the 2 p.m. update. It's virtually the same. So I'm going to read some things that have come out of the Indian River County Emergency Management. And of course, you know that John King is the director down there. They do a great job. Etta LaPresti also is down there working in emergency management. And at 11 a.m., the center of the storm was about 570 miles southeast of Cape Canaveral, moving northwest at moving northwest at 12 miles an hour. Max sustained winds are 120 miles an hour. Obviously, what kind of impacts can we expect? Be prepared for hurricane winds, no surprise there. But remember, even if there is a track switch east or west, that could really impact us. Right now, they are calling for perhaps a landfall somewhere between Sebastian Inlet and Cape Canaveral. That would put Sebastian slightly on the west side of the storm, which would be good for us. As you know, these cyclones are counterclockwise in motion, low pressure areas, and the most intense winds are on the northeast quadrant of those low pressures. So, as I say, even a smallest shift right now, west, which would be detrimental to us, or east, which would be positive for us, is very important to look at. Storm surge and flooding, that's another thing that we have to be concerned about, obviously. And what we have done in City Hall for the past 2 days is get into hurricane prep mode, and I have directed our public works folks to go around to some of our stormwater outfalls, concrete structures that may be blocked, things like that, places where we know we have some problems with flooding, maybe Laconia Tulip area, something like that. They've gone around, hopefully to all of them, at least by tomorrow morning, and they'll be checking on those problem areas. So we are trying to do what we can about that. Obviously, another impact would be dangerous surf, large breaking waves. Not too much here in Sebastian, but certainly on the riverfront, Indian River Drive, we have to watch that very carefully, especially if this is a high tide event. So another thing to mention right now, once we get into when this storm starts to when it's passed, please don't go driving around, sightseeing. That will only diminish efforts to clear roads, perhaps rescue efforts for anything that's going on, emergency services. So we want to keep our roadways open. So thank you very much in advance for that. Indian River County and us, by extension, we're participating in all National Weather Service conference calls. I was on a conference call last night, as were a lot of other people, with the governor, and he reiterated the fact that we have access to the Florida Emergency Management System. We have been in contact with them, and us again today, so we are all monitoring that from City Hall, I assure you. A meeting was held at the county with the executive policy group to discuss evacuations, shelter openings, et cetera, et cetera. Our chief of police, Michelle Morris, was there as my representative, and she gave me notes, a little briefing a little while ago on the outcome of that meeting, and I'll reiterate those items to you in just a second. American Red Cross and our county health, they've been asked to pre-stage and staff 3 public shelters and one pet-friendly shelter for activation Thursday morning at 8 o'clock. So the shelters will open 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, Thursday, the 6th of October. Evacuation orders. October 5th, they're voluntary. October 6th, they're going to be mandatory. Mandatory for the barrier islands, which really doesn't concern Sebastian, but it is an issue in case you might have a relative or someone else that you know lives there. Mobile homes or manufactured housing, low-lying areas, and substandard housing. So, for example, low-lying areas along Indian River Drive, our police department is going to be out at 8 a.m. tomorrow, Thursday the 6th, to ask people to participate in this mandatory evacuation, and they are going to be making a record of the folks who are there in manufactured homes, mobile homes, and also low-lying areas. Let's talk about the shelters. They open at 8 a.m. tomorrow, the 6th of October. That would be Thursday at 8 a.m. There's 5 shelters in Indian River County. First one, Freshman Learning Center, and that's 19th Street in Vero Beach. Oslo Middle School, 20th Avenue in Vero Beach. Sebastian River Middle School, that's general population, anyone can go there, on County Road 512. So Sebastian River Middle School, just east of the Aquatic Center on County Road 512. Liberty Magnet School, that is a pet-friendly facility. That's on 81st Street in Vero Beach. Treasure Coast Elementary, and that it also is a special needs shelter. So, the County Emergency Operations Center activation will take place Thursday, October 6th at 6 a.m. For your information, yesterday at 10:30, we, through our management team, which I conducted a meeting, we started our hurricane preparation and enacted our emergency management plan for the city of Sebastian. We activated our emergency operations center at 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. So we are online, as I said earlier. That is a 24/7 operation. It's worth noting that the County Emergency Operations Center, 24/7, that goes to level 1 full-scale operations tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. We have a Sebastian representative down there 24/7. So we have an emergency operations center here at the police department and also down at the county at their emergency operations center where there is a Sebastian representative. Let's talk about possible damage assessment after the storm event. Damage assessment teams have been placed on standby and will be activated as soon as it's safe to do so. For our part, in the city of Sebastian, we have 3 representatives. We have our building official, Wayne Esseltine, who is the department director. He will be on staff, or he is on staff. He'll be ready to go for damage assessment. Also, we have 2 building inspectors that are going to be utilized for inspections. Let's talk about government closures. I'm sitting here in council chambers in the city of Sebastian. I have authorized our department heads for the city of Sebastian to release all non-essential folks to go home to their families. We've had to keep, obviously, some folks here on staff to complete duties of boarding up and getting city buildings secured. That's still ongoing right now, and it will continue into tomorrow morning. It's worth noting that the county has closed their county offices already. We will be open tomorrow morning, and I am going to make an assessment at 9 a.m. as to when we will secure and close the building. Now, the police department is going to be open. The Emergency Operations Center will be there. I'll be at the EOC at the police department, or I will be here in City Hall. Public school closures, today, October 5th, there was an early release. October 6th, Thursday, October 7th, Friday, closed on both days. Thursday and Friday closed. Let's talk about the state of Florida executive declarations for emergency. Bob Ginsburg, our city attorney, drafted a emergency declaration for the city of Sebastian. According to Florida statutes, we can do that, and what that does primarily is give, and it was signed by the mayor, what that does primarily is give the city manager the obligation to enact certain things as they become necessary depending on the severity of the emergency. There are approximately 10 or 12 items there. I have ordered one of those to be enacted, and that concerns city employees. I've canceled all vacations. Essential employees must report to work and canceled all leave. So anything more severe, I will give notice to the public through this Channel 25 broadcast. What is recommended right now for the public? And this is pretty standard. Living in Florida, folks are thinking about hurricanes and what to do, so continue to monitor the progress of the hurricane. That goes without saying. Know your evacuation plans. Have a plan and stick to it. Prepare to expect a peak storm surge of 3 to 5 feet and peak initial rainfall amounts of 8 to 10 inches. That's very critical for us here in Sebastian. We know that we're low-lying and we do have drainage problems ongoing. This is going to be very critical, especially in those lower areas. Voluntary evacuations are recommended today, Wednesday the 5th, mandatory in those areas that I talked about for tomorrow on the 7th. I'd like to talk about a narrative that most anybody can get off the internet, but this is one that I follow pretty close, and their forecasts are generally pretty close. So, and if you've been watching the Weather Channel, I get this from another source, but they're talking about the same things. But let me just read a few things if you don't mind. Hurricane Matthew was a weakened Category 3 hurricane with 115-mile-an-hour winds at 8 o'clock this morning as it exited the area to the northwest of Cuba and Haiti. However, the issue is that now that it's in quasi-open waters and warm waters of the Bahamas, they're forecast that it's going to strengthen. And they're forecasting that it could strengthen to a Category 4 again at 145 miles an hour. I talked about the counterclockwise rotation of hurricanes in the northeast quadrant is really what we are worried about. But if you have a hurricane, a storm event that is even off the coast at 145 miles an hour in that northeast quadrant, we're going to get significant winds on the west side of that, and that's what I'm worried about. That could impact us. They're expecting that the storm will intensify again, and they're expecting that it will skirt up the coast and then impact the Carolinas somewhere around Charleston northward. So something to watch very closely. I want to thank you very much for your attention. I will be making these broadcasts as I get more information and I'm able to pass that on. So thank you very much. Please remember our phone lines are available. They are up and running in the Emergency Operations Center. 589-5330 is the main City Hall number that will be transferred over to the Emergency Operations Center. Our citizen request line, if you have that number, 581-0111. If you have any questions, any concerns, please contact the City of Sebastian Emergency Operations Center in the Sebastian Police Department. I want to thank you very much, and please stay inside, be safe, and we will get through this event, and we will be okay. Until we meet again, thank you very much.